The road to the border was silent. Dust rose behind the small black car as it moved. Through miles of dry land and broken fences. No crowds. No lights. No grand stages. Just soldiers. Barbed wire. And tension hanging in the air like a storm waiting to break. Hauser stared out the window, his cello case resting beside him. Usually, before concerts, he heard cheers. Tonight, he heard nothing. Only the wind. Are you sure about this? His manager asked quietly from the front seat. Hauser nodded. They asked for music, he said softly. So I'll play. The border had been closed for months. 2 neighboring countries. Once friends. Now divided by fear, arguments, and politics no ordinary people even understood. Families separated. Homes abandoned. Children growing up looking at fences instead of fields. But that morning, something unusual happened. A group of volunteers sent Hauser a message. We don't need speeches. We don't need news. We just need hope. Come play for us. Right here. Between both sides. He couldn't say no. When they arrived, soldiers stopped the car. Guns. Questions. Suspicious eyes. What are you doing here? One guard asked. Hauser simply opened his trunk. Inside was only one thing. His cello. The soldier frowned. You came. To play music. Hauser smiled gently. Yes. The guard looked confused. Then strangely softer. After a long pause, he stepped aside. 5 minutes, he said. They placed a single wooden chair exactly between the 2 gates. Half on one side. Half on the other. A strange line divided the ground. Like the earth itself had been split. On both sides of the fence, people slowly gathered. Families. Children. Old men. Tired mothers. Even soldiers pretending not to watch. Nobody spoke. Everyone just stared. What could one man with a cello possibly change? Hauser sat down. The chair creaked. The wind brushed his hair. For a moment, he hesitated. No stage lights. No microphones. No applause. Just raw silence. Then, his bow touched the strings. The first note floated out. Low. Soft. Like a whisper. The sound traveled through the open air. Slipping through the fence. Sliding past the wire. Crossing the border like it didn't exist. People lifted their heads. Children stopped moving. Even the soldiers lowered their weapons slightly. The melody grew warmer. Sad at first. Carrying pain. Then slowly. Hope. It sounded like missing someone. Like remembering home. Like the feeling of holding a hand you thought you'd lost forever. On one side, a little girl leaned against the fence. On the other side, another girl did the same. They stared at each other. Then smiled. Same age. Same shy eyes. For a long time, no one moved. It was as if the last note still floated in the air, invisible but alive. Hauser slowly lowered his bow. His hands were trembling. Not from fear. From feeling. He looked up at the fence again. Something had changed. People weren't standing far apart anymore. They had stepped closer. Closer than the rules allowed. Closer than they had dared in months. An old woman on one side pressed her palm against the cold metal wire. On the other side, a man did the same. Their fingers almost touching. Eyes filled with memories. Maybe they were neighbors once. Maybe family. The music had opened something words never could. A small boy suddenly slipped through the crowd and walked up to Hauser. He held out a folded piece of paper. For you, he whispered. Hauser opened it. A child's drawing. 2 houses. 1 son. And in the middle, a man with a cello. Under it, messy handwriting. When you play, the fence disappears. His throat tightened. He crouched down and gently ruffled the boy's hair. That's the best review I've ever had, he said with a soft laugh. Before leaving, Hauser did one last thing. He unclipped a spare string from his cello case and tied it carefully onto the fence. Not to hold it closed, but like a ribbon. A tiny symbol. Then others began adding things too. Flowers. Notes. Scarves. Photos. The cold wire slowly turned into something human. Something alive. As the car drove away, the border grew smaller in the distance. But the melody stayed in his heart. Because that day, Hauser understood something simple. Music doesn't need permission. It doesn't stop at walls. It doesn't recognize borders. It just travels from one soul to another.